There are some topics in this video that some viewers may find especially heinous. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello. Today I'm going to be talking about a particularly horrible degenerate of a person. We are talking about awful things today. Horrible things. And I had to go through horrible things to get to making this video, to say the least. I am going to maybe introduce you to Mystery107. Mystery107 is a part of the Cheapie Mugen community, which, as I have found out over the past week, is not doing very well this year. They're not doing very well at all. Possibly, mostly because of Mystery107 and his unhinged, contrarian obnoxiousness, and Cyber.x64 being a prig himself as well. But he's not who I'm addressing in this video. I'm not addressing the entire Cheapie community either. Yet. I'll need some answers from them at the end. But until that time, Mystery is already a notable pain in the ass to anyone he slightly dislikes. Whether it's purposely disrespecting someone's etiquette just because. Hey, would you look at that? A visible warning. Reposting is prohibited. Unauthorized reposting and AI training prohibited. That looks pretty definitive to me. Well, what does Mystery have to say about this? Proud unauthorized repost of today. Channel and Papyrus clothing swap. Underswap pun. Also, if you guys can, make sure to train an AI with pics like this one. Would be fun. This guy wouldn't just be great at parties. He would be kicked out, physically, out of the door. Like DJ Jazzy Jeff, okay? He'd be such a hit. He would never be seen again. Or inserting himself into a thread just to unsuccessfully rage bait. Yeah, I'm showing you this. It's not the entire thread, but it's, as you can see, it's a lot of bullshit. And Green Ray here just dog walking him and others, or instigating people way out of his league for any possible attention, including, as you can see here, DMing Michael Armoros because he doesn't like the Japanese's coding etiquette stuff. If you peeve Mystery107, he will go off as if you personally took a shit in his yard when all you did was hold an opinion he didn't like. If you're lucky, he'll make a video where he showcases a joke out of you, or worse. No, I'm not reading that. You probably shouldn't do that. I won't. Too lazy and uninterested to. I would prefer if someone did in my place. He shouldn't, but if you know Mystery, he probably would anyway. It's just because of the potential for reaction. I already humbled and roasted her ass once enough to the point she quickly blocked me, Lamau. But you want a trophy? You want a trophy, motherfucker? Here's a trophy for being an obnoxious piece of shit. All of such has happened within the past year, which makes me wonder why more people haven't more often brought up the elephant in the room. The fact that he likes children, and he's proud of it. How do I know this? After going through his social media accounts and suffering through man-made horrors beyond someone's comprehension. Almost mine, unfortunately, but I can confidently say he should not have a fraction of the attention he gets. Now, let me spell something out for the people in the back. Pedophilia is a paraphilia that defines a sexual attraction to children. Doesn't mean you're a criminal. Doesn't necessarily mean you're a child predator. Doesn't specify fiction or how old they actually are, 9,000-year-old dragon girl that looks 5. That doesn't matter. If you are into characters that are children, look like children, or both, you are a pedophile. Mystery107 more than fits those boots. If you had the displeasure of checking out his DeviantArt, you would see a bunch of fash content of the Toho characters, Flandre, I think that's how it's pronounced, Cherno, and Dayusei. What do these 3 characters look like? Right, so they look like children, without aging them up. And I'm not sure ignorance can excuse interaction because we're not dealing with Mobian nor JoJo proportions here. I would imagine making vor art of these characters would be pretty pedophilic, wouldn't it? Well, now that's all I can show you in this video, because I want this to be shown to as many people as possible, and I'm going to have to censor some things that are in the document that will be linked in the description, along with a couple other documents relating to the Nocti situation that I'm not going to address because, well, you can watch that video, you can read that document, and after that you can read Koi's document. You should read both. You should read Nocti's document and then Koi's document. I think Nocti jumped the gun a bit on quite a few things, but I also think Koi is who he says he is. Seems pretty candid, so read both of those and maybe come back to this video. Or if you read both, then let's just jump right into the rest of this shit. Pretty disgusting, right? It gets worse though. It gets so much fucking worse. He's made vor content in Mugen of these characters, Flandre and Cherno. Pretty gross, right? Well, he doesn't confine his creep shit to just DeviantArt. If you went on his Twitter, you'll see such gems as him replying to a video of Dayusei slapping Cherno's butt with, "It's funny since he's my favorite fairy." Outside of that, if you take a good look, Flandre and Dayusei have the same looks but with different colors. I'm not sure how true that is. Same to Amelia and Cherno. I'm really not sure what he's talking about. Cherno needs some appreciation too. No, I'm not saying that either. Fuck that. Here is a picture of Dayusei with oh god, I might have to stop reading this shit, but I got to. I have to spread this word, okay, I have to. You can see what he's saying. As you can see, Mystery107 is not shy about how much these characters turn him on, or how they would look better if they had giant assets. In fact, he says a lot of freak shit on his Twitter. Okay, that's just fucked up. Blatant, but I don't think I've put nearly enough nails in the coffin yet. Would you believe me if I said it gets even worse? Introducing the Powerpuff Girls. A trio of children that act like children, look like children, and do children's things like going to school. Kindergarten school with other kindergartners They certainly sound like children too. Interesting. So, same goes for the Rowdy Rough Boys. The anti-Powerpuff Girls. You may have heard of them if you watch the show. Minus the going to school thing. With this information fresh in your minds, let me also introduce Euphoria. Euphoria is a series of videos and images by infamous content creator K4ia. Plenty of media in the series in question feature minors partaking in vor. To create the media, K4ia conceived an assembly line-esque design philosophy to the characters. Character builders. As you can imagine, many people make their own Euphoria-inspired character builders for characters I do not want to think of right now. This is why K4ia should be permanently banned from YouTube. Case in point, Mystery107's character builders. He's done it for the usual suspects. Cherno, Diosei, himself, but there's also the Rowdy Rough Boys and the Powerpuff Girls. Where did I get the information that he's made a character builder of the Powerpuff Girls? Because it's not on his DeviantArt. I would know because I unfortunately checked. It's not on his DeviantArt. Where is it? It's linked in the description of a post on Pixiv. Yeah. Of course he has one. Here's who he follows on Pixiv, by the way. Just fantastic. What post specifically? Oh, you may want to shield your eyes, even if I'm only showing so much. It comes from this post. The PPG first with the RRB. You don't want to know what happened to the RRB. Here is the whole GIF. Yes, this is a GIF that I am not going to show you, even if K4ia exists on this platform. Even if K4ia is getting paid on this platform, I am not going to subject myself to viewing this again. Pretty much like an alternative ending to the episode The Rowdy Rough Boys. I don't remember that episode. I don't care to. Not anymore. All characters depicted are below 18 years old. They are just fictional characters after all, so deal with it. Trust me, I am saving you from the worst of this evidence. Speaking of the worst, there's also this. Rick rubs Blossom's belly. GIF. Seems like Blossom ate some random criminal who tried escaping after trying to rob the bank. And since she's busy, oh God help me. Requested by another degenerate, the absolute worst. Trust me, I know. Is this one particularly disgusting edit of a screenshot of a frame of an episode where Mystery107 added Blossom to be exposed. I'm not even reading this post. I want this over with. Okay, I want this done. I'm not even showing the image anymore. I'm over it. I'm so over it. I'm so fucking over it. Horrifying. You must be thinking, of course, it doesn't get worse than that, right? Well, depending on what you think about what you're about to see next, it very well can get worse. As I said before, he is very proud of being a pedophilic freak. Everywhere he goes. Here's him using Broly. Yes, bear with me here. In one of his character builders to voice his statement on why he's in the Lolicon Defense Force. I'm not even gonna do a Broly impression here. One, cause it sucks. I can't do it. And second, I am not going to sully the name of Z Broly like Mystery is about to. If you're one of those schizophrenic anti-Lolicons who thinks drawings are real people, then please learn how to differ fiction from reality before I kill you. Taking drawings too seriously is really concerning. Very concerning, yes. More concerning than you drawing. Moving on. Here's him doing it again. And another character builder. Now, no one can read this unless they have a high IQ like myself. But mostly because he didn't think about how low the resolution on the statement is going to be because of how big this original image is. So, it's almost intelligible. I think that's the right word. But I think it says, hey, if you're a schizophrenic nigga who thinks drawings are real people, then get out here. Cool, great, awesome. How about a Twitter reply? Fuck that. You can read it for yourself. Attached is video of a Broly doing a super on Madara Uchiha. How about another Twitter reply? You're delusional mind, yes, but the truth is that there must fucking Christ. Can I read any of these? I don't really want to, but can I read any of these? Can I even show any of these? What about Blue Sky? Fans art of the PPG that's better made than your overpriced flat traced renders Lamau. Deviant art? Since you Minecraft Quepper XD retard blocked me like the pussy coward you are, here is my reply to your last message. You're confirming irrelevant bullshit that has nothing to do with anything I said here, just to try and make yourself seem right. You fish are of the PPG, and I can't differ fiction from reality, so you a pedo because of some drawings. No, I'm not. If I was a pedo, I would glue my silly gross kid like Jesus fucking Christ. But I don't, because that's disgusting. Very disgusting. Just like, now, imagine being off topic because everything I said about no Toho girls being lesbian is true amount. Yes, I'm gonna give this seconds of my time. I don't think there are any lesbians. There are a lot of girls though. So maybe that's why some people headcanon lesbian relationships. Because it's like 98% girls. Well, have you thought more than 5 seconds about this? When it's not that, it's him defending Lolicon every week on Twitter. Even against other degenerates. It's literally stated that Lolicon is in fact pedophilia. Baby first mainly do what they do as a coping mechanism. Weird fucking coping mechanism. But then Mystery has to come in and lower the bar. Baby first, hold my beer. Lolicon is not stated as actual pedophilia, you brainless moron with zero reading comprehension. Baby furs are just pedophiles in disguise, you know. At least we Lolicons don't try fucking with real children like you do. Bro, I don't like either of you. I don't care. I don't care. He doesn't seem to understand that he doesn't look any better exposing other pedophiles or degenerates in general. I hate both of you. That's the worst case scenario. Otherwise, both of y'all are weird. You never went doing this. You outed someone who may or may not even be into kids. Congratulations, you are still a Lolicon. Not to forget, there's still all of these examples of you being an irredeemable scumbag. Context, Daigoro, Katana 7900 now, I guess. The guy who made the Powerpuff Girl edits. If you play some Mugen, you know. Daigoro hasn't released Buttercup, apparently. In response to this, Mystery has been harassing Daigoro, basically. Harassing them. And putting it under the guise of, well, if you release Buttercup, then I'll stop being a piece of shit to you. Daigoro has no intention of doing this. It got to the point where Daigoro regretted even making any of these ads. So you know Mystery is just the greatest thing to grace this community, right? You know he has to be here, right? You know. And here's something else that I'm not even sure I can show. Here's his great edit of someone's artwork. He basically pissed on someone's artwork. That seems pretty equivalent to me. Here's the original art by Bad at Making Names on Blue Sky. Finally, I list my case on why Mystery107 should be exiled from the communities he is in. 268 followers on DeviantArt, 1,410 subscribers. Insane to see with all this public information I just laid out. If you ask me, I would not want to be in a community that associates with people like this. Probably at some point, knowingly. Cheapie community, I want answers as soon as possible. Alright, now that that's over, let's name some names. Here's what Mystery's Discord account looks like. Ban him from your servers. Here's his Discord ID. Here's who's following Mystery on Twitter. There's a speedster again. You should really stop following these people. Especially when you're in a position of what I assume is power. I think you want to be respected by your peers. Here's who follows Mystery on DeviantArt. Yeah, that's right, I'm spreading the word that far. You should too. The Speedster, Act 52, and, Fizz No, I assume that's no and not number, 1998, who also goes by Twinnies, 1998. I implore you, please take action and or say your piece. At the very last minute, I found out some people from the regular Mugen community were following Mystery107's friend on Twitter. This shithead. How much of a friend is he? Oh, well, he just has all of his values. But if you close your eyes, I don't think he's a Mugen character creator, Mugen stage creator. I don't think he even makes Mugen videos. When you follow his Twitter, I don't think you're following it because, well, I'm a Mugen fan. Of course I'm gonna follow the Mugen Twitter. No. I might need to hear your side on that too. Cause what the fuck are you doing following him? Back to about a week ago. This has been Ketchup Sauce. I'll see you later.